Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
Authorities believe a skilled metal worker is responsible for a recent incendiary device dropped in a ballot box in Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington. Potentially planning further incidents is suggested. Surveillance captured a man in a dark Volvo linked to the incidents, which involved devices marked with Free Gaza and Free Palestine. But the motive remains unclear. Yes, well, what could it possibly be? I mean, I guess they need a note that says, I did this because of this. But hundreds of ballots were damaged, prompting election officials to work on replacement ballots and urge affected voters to confirm their status. Here's an alternate idea. Maybe we shouldn't put a bunch of ballots in one place in public and say, hey, look at all these ballots here. Maybe this isn't the way we should do our election.
6.
A Birmingham church, the New Era Baptist Church, has come under fire for a divisive billboard targeting black Trump supporters with racially charged language. The sign, photographed by Yellowhammer News, displays a message criticizing African Americans supporting Donald Trump, saying a black vote for Trump is mental illness on one side, and the other says, warning African Americans, a vote for Trump will put black folks back to picking cotton. There is an additional picture floating around where he refers to them as stupid Negroes. This is a black church, obviously, doing this, so just keep that much in mind. But yes, racially divisive language there, an attempt to motivate by calling people stupid Negroes. So there's that.
Number 5.
A report from the Daily Wire suggests that the influx of Haitian migrants could continue to transform small Alabama towns like Athens, Albertville, Enterprise, Sylacauga into places that are much like Springfield, Ohio, where a significant number of migrants strain local resources. In Athens, residents expressed frustration over high rents for dilapidated housing, allegedly profiting landlords like City Councilman Chris Seibert, leading to calls for his resignation. They cover that part of the story. Meanwhile, local leaders, including mayors and school officials, have voiced concerns over the pressure on resources, schools, housing, amid limited financial support from the federal government to manage the growing immigrant population. So we've covered this story before extensively on this program, but the Daily Wire now is covering these stories as well. You're seeing more of it.
Number 4.
A Republican voter turnout is significantly ahead in several key states. This early voting metric may not mean what everyone thinks it means, though, so just FYI. This includes Republicans being up 42,000 votes in Nevada, and strong showings in Louisiana, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Florida, Arizona. I guess if you have an A at the end of your state name, you have early voting, and Republicans are doing pretty good. GOP turnout percentages are higher than prior elections. In Texas, nearly a third of registered voters have already cast their ballots, with Republicans holding a 1.1 million vote lead among early voters with a history of GOP primary participation. Nationally, 56 million votes have been cast, with Republicans and Democrats closely matched at about 40% each, showing a much tighter race compared to the 2020 early vote breakdown.
Number 3.
The United States Supreme Court ruling recently, yesterday, shows that, different states, at least Virginia, I say different states, but only Virginia at this point, may proceed with a program to remove non-citizens from its voters' rolls. And this decision has been praised by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen, who faces similar legal challenges here in the state of Alabama. A recent federal injunction blocked Allen's Alabama initiative, citing that his voter roll purge violated federal law by occurring too close to the election date. The Alabama case, which involves removing voters flagged as non-citizens, remains contested. It is not impacted by the Virginia ruling, but it could be a sign that it may be allowed to continue. In Virginia, if you go to the polling place and you've been incorrectly removed, you can cast a provisional ballot. There are ways around this. This is a good policy. Do it. Do it.
Number 2.
President Joe Biden's recent comments calling Trump supporters garbage has sparked bipartisan backlash, with Alabama Congressman Dale Strong calling the administration's policies the real garbage, which is true. Strong criticized Biden's stance, equating garbage to the administration's handling of issues like inflation, border security, and crime, which, again, that's the truth. United States Senator Tommy Tuberville of Auburn, he responded as well, and you know that the former ball coach there had a lot to say. He said this is what the Biden and Harris administration thinks of you and thinks of Americans. They hate you, and they don't even try to hide it anymore. America needs a real leader that loves her. America needs Donald Trump. So that's Tuberville's response. And look, Joe Biden, who I'm convinced voted for Donald Trump at this point. I'm convinced that that's got to be it. A great October surprise there. You nailed it.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
Former President Donald Trump rolled up to a Wisconsin rally in a garbage truck, logoed up with all of his own markings, Garbage Force One or something. He compared President Joe Biden's words about Trump's garbage supporters to Hillary Clinton's baskets of deplorables remark. Frank Luntz, hardly a super Trump fan, said that this could very well have an impact on getting out voters. The Trump campaign is using it just like they used the basket of deplorables comment. Biden's running mate and candidate for president, Kamala Harris, say her name correctly, she was obviously not happy about all of this, and she said, after she was done laughing, she said, "I'm sincere when I mean," and you always know someone's telling the truth when they tell you, "I'm being sincere." It's not a tell at all. I'm being sincere in what I mean. When elected president of the United States, I will represent all Americans, including those who don't vote for me, and address their needs and their desires. Vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, when he got offline, where he was trying to talk to young men on the internet, he got offline and went on defense saying, quote, "Biden's words do not, quote, undermine," end quote, the Harris-Walz message, which up until this week appeared to be that all Trump supporters are Nazis and fascists. So, I don't think that it does undermine the message of the campaign, because this is pretty much what they've been saying all along. Joe Biden just didn't say it in a media-friendly way. Because, again, up until this week, it was Nazis, fascists. Now it's garbage. So, no, it doesn't undermine it. I agree with Tim Walz, not on his internet activities or anything like that, because I think getting on the internet and trying to talk to young boys is weird. Did you see the thing last night? They put a Fortnite map out. Fortnite, everyone know what Fortnite is? Everyone loves Fortnite? I guess that's a thing. They built an entire Fortnite map, and apparently this is a big deal. They had almost 400 people using their map on a game that millions upon millions upon millions of people play. This was their way of outreaching to young people. And here's what they did. This is how much they understand people. They created a map on Fortnite where you couldn't use weapons. But yeah, so they're absolutely nailing what that game is all about and reaching out to people. So Tim Walz and his internet reach out to young boys, which sounds incredibly strange because it is not going too well. Now, you are more than welcome to join us here on the program. Voice your opinion. Do not reach out to young boys, though, okay? 866-494-WVNN. That is, of course, the scoutpestcontrol.com WVNN hot take text line. You can jump in right there. You can email us, Dale at...
You've got mail.
Dale at WVNN.com. You can do that right now. But the 7 Things is brought to you by our friends over there at Scout Pest Control. Scout Pest Control, they're great. They're awesome. They're going to do everything they can to make your house clean and free of pests. Scout Pest Control is on top of this every single day. They stay on top of it. They come out and they give regular service for a better price than the big guys, more often than the big guys, and it keeps more bugs out than the big guys. Roaches, ants, rats, mosquitoes, termites, brown recluses, you name it, they're on top of it. ScoutPestControl.com. Talk to those guys today. When you do, make sure you tell them Dale Jackson sent you.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 Things You Should Be Talking About Today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.